Hi, it's Christina with Christina Karst Yoga. Today I wanted to go over a brief tutorial on how to get into crow with using some yoga blocks. So I would say go ahead and get 2 yoga blocks, and I would get the 4-inch where it's nice and thick and firm because that's going to provide stability and support, and also to get like a blanket or a pillow. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through some steps on how to get into crow. And the full posture is where you actually have your knees back at your triceps here, and you're balancing on your arms and your hands are shoulder width apart, like chaturanga. So starting off, what I want you to do is to kneel on the mat and tuck your toes for right now. And then place your hands right down in front of you, kind of like in this short little tabletop position where the hands are shoulder width apart. Spread the fingers out wide like chaturanga. And I want you to dig the tips of the fingers into the mat. Plug in the knuckles, the bottom of the knuckle, the thumb, and the webbing. Then slightly lift the palms up, keeping the fingers in place. Then untuck the toes and start to sink back to where your buttocks are on your heels here. And look forward and just feel how you're gripping into the mat there. From here, go ahead and come back up to where you're kneeling down once again, but firm into the tops of your feet. And I want you to pull your knees into your stomach and lower it back down. So inhale, pull them in. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, pull them in. Exhale, lower down. So when you're doing that, you're starting to feel how your core is engaging, right? Because that's what's going to take that core engagement in order to hold you into that position where you're pulling your knees in and you're balancing on the arms. So let's just do that for a few more rounds to really feel that core engagement. So get those hands set up, get everything ready to go. So inhale, pull the knees in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, pull the knees in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, pull them in. Exhale, down. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the blocks for this. I want you to take the block on the lowest setting here, and I want you to set it on the mat. And then for here, go ahead and get that blanket or that pillow and just set it towards the front, because that's going to be a nice little landing spot in case you were to fall. Now remember, this is just a tutorial. You're in charge of yourself. So that's my disclaimer here. Don't go for it if you haven't done this before. You have to work up. You have to establish a foundation before you build a house. And that's what we're doing right now. So what you're going to do with the block, you're actually going to stand on top of the block on the lowest setting, and your feet are going to be together, and you're on the ball of the foot. So you're perched like a bird, right? So then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to take your hands and place them out in front of you, chaturanga hands. And then you're going to stand up just a little bit, raising the buttocks up in there, and you're going to place those knees into the back of the triceps. You're not going to look down, you're going to look up. So right now, all you're doing, you're looking out in front of you, and you're feeling the weight of your body in the back of the triceps. Take a deep breath in, and out. Deep breath in, and out. One more deep breath in. Exhale, start to come on back. You're in that little perch position. You walk your hands back. So you're starting to feel that engagement. And you had to feel how your core would zip in to hold you in that position. And you feel the weight in the back of those triceps. And maybe that's where you need to be right now. Perching on the block gives you the ability to get your knees closer up on your arms than if you were trying to do this from the ground, when you're first starting out. So we're going to add on to this, but if this was difficult in the first phase, don't do it. You need to build up. So you're going to work on that for a while, maybe a couple of weeks, and then you'll start going to the next stage. So here's the next stage. You're going to put the hands down on the ground, put the triceps back, or the knees right into the triceps. Inhale, lift one of the feet up. Exhale, put it down. Inhale, lift the other foot up. Exhale, put it down. Inhale, foot, exhale, down, inhale, foot, exhale, down, and go ahead and come on back. And you feel how everything's changing, right? You felt more weight in the arms. Your core had to engage differently because you were lifting the foot up. So that's engaging that rectus abdominis right there, getting into that low abdomen. So everything's working, right? And you're having to breathe, because that's the one thing, people will always hold their breath. But that's not what it's about, right? So, and maybe you work on that for a few weeks, right? So it's not something that's going to happen in one day. The problem that most people have is their ego gets in the way. They want to go for it, and then they fall because they weren't ready yet. They hadn't established the foundation. So from here, what you can do, you come back into it, you inhale a foot up, and maybe you lift the other foot up just a little bit, and you set it down, lift it up, set it down, lift it up, set it down, then come back. And then you try it on the other side. You come up, you lift the foot up, put that, come up, set it down, come up, set it down, and then come back. So then you're getting the feeling of how it is to kind of float in that position. And that takes time. Maybe you work on that for a little while, maybe a couple of weeks, right? There's no rush in doing this. And then finally, what you can do, well actually let me show you the block variation with this. So, and this is why you need a thick block, and it needs to be firm, not squishy, maybe like a cork block, or this is a Manduka recycled foam. It's very sturdy, but it's light. And what you're going to do here is you would take this block, and then you're going to use it kind of like as a balance, like as a tripod. So for me, it is the highest level, and then I actually have it where it is lengthwise facing towards me. So I'm going to set that right there. I'm going to come back onto the perch. I'm going to put my knees into my triceps. I'm going to start to lean in. I'm going to put my forehead on the block just to give me a little bit of balance. And then maybe you lift a foot up, and you lift the other one up. And you can do this, and that way you can feel how the buttocks are high in the air, and you can feel how the core is starting to engage there. And then you come on back in. But what you don't want to do is to rely on this block to balance you and put this additional weight in the head that's not needed. So then eventually, you're going to graduate from the blocks, right, to where you're not going to need them. So I'm going to go ahead and take my feet off of this block, move them off to the side, and I'm going to show you what it is to go into the full crow posture. So from here, hands at chaturanga. So I'm like in this little awkward forward fold here. I'm going to bring my feet together. My knees are going to come into my armpits. I'm going to lean forward. I'm going to bring my feet up one at a time. Notice how I'm looking forward. I'm not looking down. I'm beginning to straighten my arms up a little bit. Keeping my toes together. And this is crow. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower on back down. And that's it. That's crow. But there's a lot of fun things, that you can do with it. You can actually go into crow and you can jump it back into a chaturanga. So I'll show you that, and then we'll end the tutorial. So you got to set up first. Remember, always have the foundation. Bring those knees in. Lift them up. Look ahead. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Jump it back. Inhale. Upward dog. Exhale. Downward dog. Bend the knees. Look in between the hands. And just hop it on in. And that's it. So the thing is, it's just learning about breath control. It's about learning how to control your muscles and also not letting the ego get in the way. So thank you for joining me for a little crow tutorial. I hope to see you next time. Have a great day, guys. Namaste.